What does it look like to love someone you disagree with? Society tells us that if we love LGBTQ people, we must reject the historic Christian sexual ethic. But so many of us have LGBTQ friends and family who we love and who love us, and so we know that's not true. Love and compassion don't demand agreement, but they often demand social action.
The church hasn't always fully demonstrated compassion in relation to sexuality. It's time that we repent and that we do better. Saying we love our neighbors can't just be empty words. We have to advocate for policies that protect the LGBTQ community, while at the same time standing for our Christian convictions.
You should know about the Equality Act. While it sounds good and moves to protect the LGBTQ community from discrimination, it would be devastating to faith-based institutions like churches, colleges, and hospitals.
The Equality Act is an example of LGBTQ rights being used as a weapon against religious liberty.
Religious liberty and LGBTQ rights should be shields, but the Equality Act allows LGBTQ rights to be used as a sword against the church. Destroying the communities we disagree with is not the answer. There's an alternative, the Fairness for All Act. The Fairness for All Act comes from a Utah policy where Mormons and the LGBTQ community came together to protect religious liberty and LGBTQ rights. The Fairness for All Act protects all religious groups, not just Christians, from the financial and institutional burden of defending lawsuits that falsely claim their faith policies are discriminatory.
And it also protects the LGBTQ community from unlawful discrimination when it comes to areas like housing, workplace protections, social services, and financial credit.
Disagreement is not the same as discrimination. Refusing to serve an LGBTQ couple at a restaurant is malicious and discriminatory. However, a faith-based hospital who serves everybody and saves lives is not discriminating if they decide not to do a sex reassignment surgery. A Muslim organization not hiring a Christian or somebody who disagrees with their sexual ethic is not unlawfully discriminatory. They've made a reasonable choice based on their values and their mission.
Unfortunately, while the Equality Act does advance some important LGBT rights, it inadequately addresses religious freedom. The AND campaign holds to the historic Christian sexual ethic. We also hold to the Christian ethic of love. We want what is good for other people.
The AND campaign supports the Fairness for All Act because it applies the compassion and conviction that we talk so much about. This really comes down to two questions. Should faith-based organizations have to surrender their convictions to keep their doors open? And should LGBTQ people face discrimination in getting or keeping employment, housing, social services, and financial credit because of how they identify? If your answer to both of those questions is no, then support the Fairness for All Act and send a message to DC that we're ready to work together when we can, and they should too.